Hey guys, today we're going to continue working with combining like terms through addition and subtraction, but we are going to try to solve this example problem. A pretty long expression, right? There's a lot of terms there. So what we want to do at first is pretty simple. We want to identify our like terms. What terms will be able to combine together? Now, this is something I like to do, whether it is a, pretty straightforward, if you want to call it that, Algebra 1 problem, or whether it is a trigonometric identity where I have tons of sines and cosines and tangents that I'm combining. I like to, at the beginning of the problem, take a moment to look and see what is alike. What are my like terms? And I want to color code those or identify those, whatever it may be. I find it really helps me. So let's start. We have a 7x here. Are there any other like terms to that 7x? Yeah, right here. We have another x term, just x, because remember, for them to be like terms, not only do they have to have the same variable, but they have to have the same exponent, or what I like to personally call a variable configuration. So we have this negative 4x here. Not just 4x, because do recall that sign goes with it. Now what else do we have that is alike? Well, our next term here is a positive 5y. Yeah, right there. We have a positive 8y. Those terms are alike. Those terms are going to be able to combine. Now finally, you'll probably notice we have two remaining terms that are pretty similar. We have a 9 and a negative 1. Both of those terms don't have a variable at all, so they're going to be able to combine just like we've been doing math since we were in 2nd grade, right? Those are just adding or subtracting in this case. So let's go ahead and combine the terms that we have identified as being alike. So we have 7x and negative 4x. Now what are these going to do? We need to make sure we keep the signs with them. So this is a positive 7x. This is a negative 4x, but the way I kind of like to think about it is it's just 7x minus 4x. That sign in front of it, while it does make it negative, is kind of just telling us to subtract. So 7x minus 4x is going to be 3x. Next up, we can look at our y variables, or our y terms. We have 5y and 8y. Well, they're adding, so we just need to combine our coefficients, or add our coefficients. 5 and 8 make positive 13. And I'm going to be sure to include that positive sign, or the plus sign, because we're trying to make an expression here, right? And then what happens to the y? Yeah, it just stays y, right? We don't add those. We don't make y squared or anything crazy like that. When we're adding and subtracting like terms, those variables stay exactly the same. And then we have here 9 minus 1. That's pretty straightforward. That's going to make 8. And again, we keep that sign with it because we are trying to construct this simplified or combined expression. Now, that's our answer, right? 3x plus 13y plus 8. Now, it's possible, if you tried to solve this on your own at the beginning of the video, maybe you combine them in a different order, in the sense that you did the y's first, or you did the whole numbers first. And maybe you got, 13y plus 3x plus 8. Is that incorrect because it's in a different order? Not necessarily. As long as you have the same sign in front of everything, technically your equation would be equivalent to mine, even if you combine the y's first and then the whole numbers and the x, or whatever you did. However, whenever we're writing the equations, there is a traditionally accepted way of ordering our variables and our whole numbers. And typically, especially at this level, that is going to mean beginning with our alphabetically first variable, going to our next alphabetical variable, and then having the whole numbers saved for the very end. So in this case, like I wrote it, it has x, then y, then 8. Now, if there were higher exponents involved, that can change things. If we have an x squared or an x to the third, those are going to get precedence. Those are going to go first because we always want to have our highest exponent variable at the beginning of the equation, also known as our highest degree variable, but that's some terminology we'll get into a little bit later. So again, if you have it in a different order, it is not incorrect at all, but this is the mathematically preferred way of writing it. All right, if you have any questions about this, feel free to drop them in the comments below. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.